This video is sponsored by Jackery Solar Generator. Check out the link in the description to learn more about how you can power your entire trip. All right, welcome back to another video. We're gonna be finishing up the workshop today for Kurt. I'm just starting to collect all the electrical components we need to finish the up workshop room, and then we're gonna be installing the diesel heater and getting that run all the way back to the Jackery system. We've got some friends hanging out this weekend. They've got some buses over here on the lot. We've got Cohen over here. He's just working on the computer today because he works online, so he's not coming with us to the workshop. You know, he can sit in the shop here and work, which was kind of the idea and the point of getting internet, is that people can just, you know, do what they need during the day and the rest of us can do what we need. But outside, we've also got some other friends. A little bit of a rainy day. You know, we've got Dale's bus. We've got a friend Casey here who's gonna be coming up to the workshop. We've got Blake who's got a van over here. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of go up, finish up this job for Kurt and Rick. I don't know, get some heat in there before winter. Blake, you're on camera.
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Casey. He's coming up to the workshop with us to help out do the electrical and the diesel heater and stuff because he's got lots of experience because he already built his own bus. Maybe we'll be able to see it at some point.
Yeah.
Feed it to me as well.
Yeah, but your hands are full.
I'm not too sure what it is about coming up to the workshop and the sugar bush, but it's been raining every time I come up here now. And it wants to be muddy, wants to be dark. We can't just get a nice sunny day so that when we're trying to install the lights, at least we got the sunshine coming through the windows. It seems like the Jackery system is working pretty good down here for them. We're now in the upper room. Kurt, thanks for cleaning it out before I got here. But they've been cleaning out this whole room, so at least, you know, the spacing's open. We can finish the lighting. We did get a few lights in here last time already. We have to finish those up. And then the diesel heater, which the wires already run from the last video, we'll put the diesel heater over here in the corner, which will heat this upper space for them. Kurt, you and Rick have been working in here for a bit. How's it been working? Like just...
It's wonderful. Actually, Rick got one chair done the other day, which is great. He's got another one got ready to weave, and he's doing good. Chrissy and I haven't started working in here. We're not there yet, but that'll come shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love the lights. They're working good. I think Rick worked all week long and run at 68%, and that was probably 6-7 hours a day for the last 5 days, so it worked great.
Another thing is I saw in the comments on the last video working about this workshop that a lot of people were wondering for Chrissy and Kurt, we've been talking about these baskets, pack baskets, leatherworking and stuff, and I didn't put a link to anywhere. There is nowhere to buy this stuff currently. Is that possibly in the future something that I can share with everyone?
Yes, in the near future.
Yeah, so for everyone out there who's wondering how can they talk to Chrissy or Kurt about this pack baskets, leatherworking, any of this type of stuff, they're just getting set up right now. So give them a year, give them 2 years. But yeah, all of the stuff that you see here, eventually I'll provide a link somewhere. So you just make sure you subscribe and comment down below and find out where you're gonna get the information, because it will not be in this video. It probably won't be in the previous video. It's gonna be somewhere in the next year. So keep a lookout for that and you'll figure out how to contact them. All right, well, we got Casey up here. He's already starting helping out with the wiring. Casey's an expert because he built a bus already, which means he's pretty much battle tested and war ready. Blake over here has never installed a diesel heater, and well, he's done some electrical, but he's still battle tested because he's lived a life. We can get some stories and adventures.
He's a wise old guy.
Yeah, we can get some serious experience from Blake.
Oh, you haven't said so.
And Kurt is our master solar electrician.
Yeah.
So like he's just gonna do everything. And Rick, of course,
I have an
Rick
hour
is
of experience on it.
yeah, and then Rick is just the expert in everything. So like, just don't even try to question anything he says because just.
Whatever he says. So he steams and put it in there, lets him dry for 10 days.
If you can get it in there, then do
I can
it.
probably.
Coffee,
I'm
tea.
alright for now. I'll take some tea, yeah. Thanks.
You. And that's your yeah, you can make the connection there, and then we'll nail it and keep it tight.
The heat shrink thing on set for it.
I'm gonna start looking at the diesel heater thing and see what that's gonna do. All right, we got one of the lights working that Blake's kind of trying to work on and fix. We found an issue with this light, so we're trying to figure out exactly what butt splice is probably disconnected or wasn't connected very well. Not the end of the world, it's just, you know, the process of troubleshooting. Heat shrink, crimp, heat shrink, crimp, heat shrink, crimp. What I'm gonna be doing is spending just a moment outside. The diesel heater is gonna get installed up in this room right here, but we're gonna put it in this corner. So what I'm doing right now is trying to figure out where my exhausting locations are gonna go right in here. I'm gonna probably have to move some of this wood, but it's gonna pretty much tuck up right up in here. And then I'm gonna pull the exhaust lines out so that they're not gonna be, you know, of course, just pouring all that exhaust underneath the building, because eventually that exhaust is just gonna come back up into the building. And then someone's gonna get a little sick from carbon monoxide. We don't want that to happen. So we're gonna do a little bit of planning right here, figure out exactly how we wanna get that diesel heater in, and hopefully we can get a game plan together. And hopefully the rain stops, so we're not just sitting out here in the rain trying to wire the diesel heater. You know, we're up here slaving away trying to get all these lights in. Blake's doing a great job. You know, Casey's doing a great job. And these guys down here, down in the lower room, you know, we finished this room in the last video, and you know what they're doing? They just keep turning off the lights on us. I don't know what they're doing over here, but...
Well, us old guys can't bend over and see the display on the Jackery, so we figured we put it on a shelf so we don't have to bend down so far.
Yeah, well...
And not me, it's Rick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you'll get there soon. You know, all my 20 years, you know?
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Eventually we're going to be raising that shelf for me or something. I don't know. And we got Nick over here. We're going to raise it for him. But, no,
yeah, now we're just putting a quick shelf for Rick. And we got to put our chargers on there, and of course the laptop or whatever else.
Yeah.
When Mike comes in and edits.
Yeah, whenever I finally get around to doing that. Everyone keeps picking on me because I didn't post for 2 months, so now they're all picking on me that now I'm filming all the time. No,
it's all good. We're actually killing time, really, mostly to wait for Mike to install the lights up there.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave them back to their shelf and stop picking on them for turning off the lights, because the truth is that's a pretty cool looking shelf. They were just using, you know, pine wood from the land once again. It's just to learn from these guys about how to use the resources that are just around you. Incredible knowledge. It really is. They think my solar stuff is cool, but honestly, I think all this stuff is pretty cool, because, you know, you could watch a YouTube video and figure out solar. There really aren't videos. There isn't anything on this type of stuff. I mean, breaking apart growth rings to make wicker. I mean, there's like, I mean, you know, each one of these things is 6 months of a growth ring. So how many months are just sitting on that shelf right there that they split apart, and how much time that tree took to grow and just collect all the material, all these yellow birch sticks. I mean, just the hours in the woods for them just to collect, find, and source all this material. I mean, I just go on Amazon and order 14-2 marine wire, butt splices, fuses. They've actually got to walk through the woods miles and miles to even just find this stuff to even create the things that we're seeing inside this workshop.
You might like this.
Should I come down and look at it, or should I just... Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Can't you guys do... I just gave you a Jackery. Can't you just use normal tools?
We didn't have any big enough.
Yeah, it's not sharp enough, but I found it in the shop. And we need a bigger hole. We don't have paddle bits. It's not sharp enough, though. I gotta work on that a little bit.
All right, so,
spend 5
what
minutes.
would that normally be used for, do you know?
This is an auger bit. This
Okay.
is what it's for. This is what they use for posts and beams, barns.
Okay.
They would this for the pegs or whatnot, you know, whatever. But generally it would be for pegs. So they would go into the beam for their cross joints and stuff like that and slide a wooden peg in there. We're a little dull right now. It's the first time I picked this one up.
I was gonna say, I think Rick's dad is rolling over in his grave watching us use this to put a solar system in.
I think you just got to put a little button into it. Whatever you want to call it.
Beep!
Okay, this may look ridiculous, but this would really work good if it was sharp.
We don't do anything easy around here, do we?
No. Lots of elbow grease.
I was going to straighten the wiring out here and tack it.
Now, a message from our sponsor, Jackery. Now, as many of you know, Jackery sponsored the last 2 videos in helping us get power into this off-grid workshop, which is a great option since we're going to be using this as a power bank and setting it here in a permanent location. Now, you also know that we build buses, vans, school buses, and travel all the time, and I know a lot of you out there are doing that and don't exactly have off-grid workshops, and that's why I think the Jackery could be a really good option for a lot of people out there. It's an all-in-one unit, so you don't have to worry about buying multiple components just to end up with a full solar system. All you need is this Jackery right here, and then solar panels that you can just plug in, and these units are able to run off of a car alternator, solar panels, or run off of a residential AC input to charge. Now, if you're interested in getting a Jackery 1000 Pro and their 2 80-watt solar panels, they currently have a promotion, and I have a link in the description for a 10% off discount, but we got to get the power working, get the diesel heaters in, because winter's coming, and Yeah, Kurt's gonna get upset if it's cold. All right, so Casey, Blake, and I, mostly Casey and Blake, I'll be honest, I'm doing a bit more supervising. Dale would be so proud of me. Yeah, we got the lights almost done up there, then we're gonna move on to the diesel heater. But Kurt's here, they build out these pack baskets, all the workshop stuff. We've been talking about this for a while. You guys have met Rick during maple syrup season. His family has done this for a very long time. I'm sure Kurt could tell us a lot more.
Jack was over 50 years doing this.
Yeah.
Made a living the last 15, 20 years. Building rustic furniture and pack baskets. All of it is unique to anywhere else, actually. So this would be something that's in Adirondacks and Maine there, but mostly in Northeast. The Indians started building, of course, this black ash. I gotta explain what a black ash is. So black ash grows in swamps, wet ground. What they say is like wet feet. We have to take it out of the swamp, cut it. It has to be pretty much a veneer log, which means no defects up on the butt. We have to take it out, pull it out of the swamp. We bring it home. We shave off the bark off it, and then we put it up on horses, basically, like something similar to sawhorses, and it gets pounded by a mallet. Then every square inch of it gets pounded. When we do that, it basically ruptures the growth rings, and what it does is it separates there. When it separates there, we peel it up and on sizes we determine, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches. This would be one of them right here. So this is a growth ring, 1 year's growth. Every year is different. We could have a drought 1 year. Of course, in the swamp we don't generally, but more sunlight, less sunlight. So we basically looking for a nickel size growth ring. When we do that, we bring it over into a tank and we wet it. And so this gets wet. So that black ash, one of the unique properties of this is just as strong wet as it is dry, and it keeps its structure and shape. That's why we use it. Now I can't show you exactly right now, but see the color difference between these two. When this gets wet enough, and we got that nickel size growth ring, we cut end here and we split and peel, and this would be the inside. So we separate into 2 or more pieces. We can do 2 first, and if it's really thick we can do it again, and that's where we get this shiny inside, and this of course is the bark side out here. This is what we use for a weaver. So from here we take this on the table when it's wet, and we have what we call gauge blocks. Now these gauge blocks are all different sizes. Some of them for the standards on the pack basket, and some of them for the weavers. And then we might have small baskets somebody builds, or larger baskets. So there's all, if you look in here, there's all the different sizes of these. So this part would be the weaver. That's a shiny inside. Now this rough part we utilize for what we call the standards. These are the uprights there. We just scrape it with a paint scraper or thereabouts a scraper. Paint it off, get that. This is the ruptured piece of material between the growth rings. We get that off there. We keep some, it's actually aesthetically pleasing with some of it on there. And as you see, you can't notice it when it's all weaved and done. But yeah, that's basically what these are. Now these, mind you, are not split. The standards are not split. They are the solid piece of growth ring.
Could we split one? Because honestly, when you showed me and Rick showed me, that is impressive. People do not realize that you can split a growth ring.
So basically, we take this. It's a kind of a feel what's about halfway through this. And see, these ain't my tools. It's probably different. See, you split that right there. Just put it in there. Okay, so see, we got this started. Okay, so now we come over here, we grab a chair. So basically you use your knees to hold this there, and you basically start peeling this. You got to apply pressure. You want that split to go right down the center of that growth ring, excuse me. This is not an arduous, or it's a tedious job. And basically you keep and you just peel this. So basically you'll run, and you can apply pressure on either side. And so this is what it is. Now this is wet now. This will turn white on there versus this side, which is, this is where the ruptured material is between the growth rings. So anyway, we take that and we cut there the width weave we want, and that's what we utilize for weaving the basket here. These things were the guides in the Adirondacks. This is what they used to take the sports in the woods with. They would put all the meals of food, the camping supplies. This was our backpack, I guess. This was their backpack versus what we use today. there. These were, like I said, virtually indestructible. These are generational bags. They last for, should be a lifetime there with normal use, not my use. I just go through one every 4 or 5 years. I go through one. They're quite fun to build, actually. The hardest part with these, I think anybody can weave one. It would be easy. The material, acquiring the material, and the actual hand pounding is what deters anybody from doing it. And there isn't much more than 20 guys in the country that are doing it currently right now. I know 5, 6 of them there, but I've looked and scoured the internet. There's not that many of them out there. The problem we're having right now, and unfortunately, we have an insect called the emerald ash borer coming in. So us guys are kind of storing the logs in a pond right now in order for us to make it out our career, because basically they're getting decimated by this beetle there. It's almost 20 miles from me where I live, and up here in the Adirondacks we seem to be safe right now, so we might have a few more years. And Maine seems to be doing pretty good too. I just want to say there is a harness on these things. These go on your back there, and they're light and strong. So you put all your camping supplies there. Do we have covers to put on them? There's some leather work we could do on them. I do put a handle on these. Jack used to build wooden handles. Them are some of them right there. Them are the rejects. They are beautiful with the handles. But Jack's wife told me one day when I built one of the wooden handles, she says, well, why do you put the handle on there? I said, well, it looks great. She says, but you can't flip it over and sit on it by a campfire, so why bother? I said, dang. She was actually right. But so I put leather handles on right now, but if somebody wanted a wooden one, we could put it on. That would be the original, the traditional way it was made.
So as you can probably tell, they do a crazy amount of work. These bags, these chairs. I mean, Rick's got a chair right here he's building right now. It's gonna be a rocking chair, much like the one back there in the room right now. But I mean, this is why we wanted to put light in here. It gets dark when it's cloudy, the leaves are on the trees, and they can't build these baskets without being able to see the detail. So that's just one of the great reasons why, you know, all of us just kind of came together real quick to get this going before fall and winter. Because I don't know where you guys live, but up here where we live, it's not like Alaska or anything, but the days get very short. You lose your lighting, and then that means they're not building, they're not making baskets, and you know that's something that they really want to get into doing more and more. So this is just, I mean, the fact that we can see the basket. You guys saw the last video. You couldn't even see the basket. Okay, all the wires are wired. We didn't finish all the heat shrink, but I'm going to give the camera to Kurt and let him figure out what he wants to do with it, and I'm going to go plug in the fuse. Here you go, Kurt.
Thanks. Now, what am I looking at here?
I don't know.
Ah, look at that. They work.
Well,
wait. There you go. Wait for it. There.
We gotta turn off the wall one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is our lighting. We just gotta tack up the wires there towards the back one there, and we're good to go.
Yeah. Is this gonna be good for her, you think?
This will be perfect for Chrissy.
So now that all the lights are in, like Kurt was just saying, table for Chrissy to be able to do her leather working. But now I can actually see the corner, and we've kind of got the diesel heater already set over here. So we're gonna get some measurements placed, figure out exactly where we want it right here. And then this should be a really good close heat for her, where if she's sitting somewhere in this area, obviously if it's negative 20 outside, I think the back corner of this room that's uninsulated is probably gonna be a little cold, but at least it's gonna warm a good bit of the here until it's insulated and kind of finish off a bit more. But once again, in the last video, we were talking about how the bottom room has a fireplace in it where they'll heat, and the heat does come up here, but you know, you don't always want to heat both spaces. Sometimes she might just be working, maybe Kurt's just working. So having this diesel heater up here is gonna be a really nice asset for them, just to turn it on, you know, make some coffee, come down, and then the room's probably already warmed up. So that's gonna be the next task that we need to wire in. And then I think we overloaded the Jackery at that point.
Yeah.
I think we're hitting the limits.
Max.
We're hitting the limits of its 12 volt usage, but yeah, it's actually pretty cool. We should go down there, and Kurt and Nick can maybe show some of the setups that they're thinking about using for the 12 volt chargers for the cabin actually up top.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if we can go up there and you want to show them the light that you made.
Yeah.
Can we show? Yeah. So this is Kurt's getting into the solar stuff to the point where whenever I show up here, he's like showing me something that he found on the internet that we can use now. So he found some really cool 12 volt options that maybe some of you out there might find really useful. The idea is the Jackery's charging, the workshop, the 12 volt system, but they're going to utilize the 1000 watt 120 plugs right here so that they can charge these batteries up and all their different DeWalt batteries. Because is this one we're going to use?
This is the one we're going to use.
All right, because Kurt came up with this amazing plan for his log cabin.
So let's go give it a whirl. So we just started hauling furniture in yesterday, so we're not a little bit disorganized here, and we got a long ways to go. But anyway, this Rick lived here for about 25, 30 years, as I can recollect, anyways. And yeah, he's a minimalist. He lived very meager, and he didn't worry about much. He didn't have no frills. I'm really no frills guy, other than the fact I can't see crap in the dark. So this is basically, I need lights. So we're going to stick with the propane in here. We're going to have a propane refrigerator, maybe 12 volt propane combination. We haven't got there yet. My solution to the lights there is basically fairly simple. DeWalt, some other company, makes a bracket for the tools. See, and I have all the DeWalt tools for construction.
And it just...
So basically, I just utilizing what I already have. I did buy a few flex batteries there to get longer hours, but these are perfect for what we need in here. Generally, I'm only here on weekends for now. In the winter, I'm going to log in this area, so I'll be here for a couple months this winter. So basically, this is just so I can see. I require nothing else in here. Everything's here. You know, like I said, a propane, wood stove, and, you know, a gas stove. So this is kind of a cheap way around it, and a Jackery down there. We'll have our chargers there when I'm gone and the solar panels are out. They'll charge it during the week, and then when I come up on the weekends, of course, these batteries, I mean, Mike can do the math problem, he would know, but you know, a 9 or 10 amp hour battery would probably last good, well, 18 hours or so.
Yeah, I think that's what we figured.
Yeah.
It's officially diesel heater time. I got to get this thing installed. I'm trying to get it installed pretty quickly because the temperatures are starting to get into the 30s at night, and the days are in like the 45s, 50s, so it's getting close. It's gonna be winter pretty soon. At least it's gonna be cold enough that they're gonna want to start using this. So I'm gonna try to get this diesel heater installed right here in the corner, give it some clearance distances. I think they might eventually build like a cabinet over it, but for now we're just gonna leave it freestanding in the floor and just install it right there in the corner. Dale.
What? Get to work, man. Come on, we got things to do. We got dirt to move, gravel to move.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff to do.
Diesel heaters to put in, air compressors to fix, buses to work on.
All right, so I was just measuring out this diesel heater, trying to, you know, be real precise and everything. There's a metal plate right here, and if I go underneath, it's already a hole. Which pretty much means I can just take that plate off, and I bet the diesel heater thing, I'm not much of a betting man, but I'm gonna bet that thing, I bet that thing's gonna fit the diesel heater plate almost perfectly if we pry this thing up, because this is the bottom of the diesel heater pan, and I'm pretty sure that that's about the size of that hole, which means we don't even have to cut a hole. I think that Rick's dad, many years ago, or Rick, knew that one day we would install a diesel heater. Or actually, I don't know why that's there, but I think it's funny that it fits perfectly. All right, we're done. Job over. Job over. Video over. Those aren't gonna go in without a drill. Get enough pressure on them. All right, so the heater is mounted at least where it's gonna be located. I've got all the electrical wires ran to where they're going. Monitors plugged in. I'll have to find a mounting location on the wall that Kurt wants it. Got our positive, negative wires. You saw in the B-roll that I put an exhaust and an intake on the outside. And then what we still have to do is pull a fuel pump line down and go into the fuel pump, mount the tank on the side. And then it's pretty much, it really is that straightforward. I'm sorry to say that this is the point of the video where like, the computer broke, that's what I'm gonna say. I woke up one morning, we got the diesel heater installed, Badge came up here and helped me. We got the whole fuel system outside done. And then the computer broke. I thought I lost this entire video. We had to send the computer out. It got fixed. It came back. Pretty much completely worked, except we lost the audio on the last part of this video, which is the final running of the actual diesel heater. So I can't really use any of it. I'll just lay it over. But yeah, the diesel heater's done. I'll go outside and I'll show you guys what we did. If you remember in the beginning of this video, I said that it always rains when we come up to the workshop. It's raining again. And it's also 4 weeks later, so it's really kind of fall out. But we got the heater installed out here, the tank's up on this location. We've got the manifold and the exhaust and then the fuel pump and everything right here on its 45-degree input. We're not too worried, as I spoke about before, about the snow at this point. I was talking to Kurt. He's gonna keep this pretty shoveled out because he's gonna be up here all winter because they're gonna be logging up in these mountains. So it's gonna be used quite often. They're gonna be shoveling it out. So for this year, we're not really gonna be too worried about it. The heat from the exhaust will keep it open, and you know, with him shoveling and maintaining it, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. But we got the diesel heater in, the lights are in, Jackery's in, Kurt's real happy. Rick's already built 3 chairs, and yeah, I don't think we could be real happier with being up here in the woods, getting this workshop up and running on this rainy day. 4 weeks later, computer's back. Thank you for being patient. Thanks for waiting, and I don't know, we'll see you guys in the next one.